Hi, I'm Blitzed. Welcome back to my channel. It's great to see you all again. I do vegan health and lifestyle videos every Wednesday, so if you like what you see, please hit subscribe. As promised, today I'm going to be making vegan flapjack. Now, there are many reasons why I love making flapjack, and it's mainly because one, it tastes great, two, it's really filling. The oats give you that big boost of energy, and you can just eat it like at any time of the day. So you can have it for breakfast, you can even have it as a snack or even as a pudding. So one of the ways you could do it is to have it with like cashew butter and strawberries and lots of gorgeous things like that after you've had your main meal, or you could just have it as a treat, a healthy treat. So through a lot of trial and error, I've made flapjack quite thick and dense, packed full of everything, and other times I've made it just plain, other times I've made it quite thin and crispy. But I can't guarantee today how this recipe is going to come out, because literally every time I've made it, it tastes different and it looks different and the texture's different. So yeah, it'll taste great either way, but I can't guarantee how it's going to look, and that's part of the fun, I think. So let's get started. So before we begin, you just need to make sure you've got a baking tray and some brown baking paper, just to make sure that the flapjack doesn't stick to your baking tray. I've used like quite a small ceramic one, but you could use the metallic ones as well. And it's also really helpful to have a large mixing bowl. If you've not got a large mixing bowl, you could use anything really. You could even mix it on a plate or just a bigger bowl you've got lying around in the house. It really depends how much flapjack you're willing to make. And I used to make a lot of flapjack, and I've toned it down over the past kind of year or so. I used to make a lot of it, but now I use the same mixture and make a smaller amount, but make it denser and make the flapjack thicker. So the quantities I'm going to show you in a sec really depend on how much you want to make and whether you want to make a thick kind of chunky piece of flapjack or a thin piece of flapjack. So for this recipe, you'll need about a couple of handfuls of walnuts, a couple of tablespoons of flaxseed. I've used ones that have got goji berries crushed up in it, but you can use any type you want. A couple of handfuls of cranberries, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 3 small bananas or 2 large bananas, a tablespoon of cashew butter, and probably about a tablespoon of agave or less, depending on how sweet your tooth is. And let's not forget about oats. Now, I'm using gluten-free oats here, but you can use any type of oats you want. Now, the amount of oats that you use is going to depend on the amount that you want to make. So I think I'll probably put about half of this in, but again, just put in as much or as little as you want really. Here's a little tip: instead of agave, you can use dates. Quite often I'll get about 100 to 200 grams of dates, crush them up in a blender and use that instead. I generally tend to only use agave when I've not got dates in, because I quite like the texture and the sweetness that the dates bring in comparison to the agave. Feel free to use whatever's in your cupboard and whatever's good for you really. And I forgot something, one last thing, you're also going to need almond milk just to mix into the mixture as well. So let's get everything mixed together. Before the bananas go in, they need to be mashed up, so I'm going to show you a nice quick and easy way to do it. So you'll need 1 plate, 1 banana and a fork. So this is the kind of texture you're after, guys. Kinda looks a little bit like scrambled egg. Bananas are a great fruit to use for binding other ingredients together, so this is one of the main reasons why I'm using it. That and bananas are really healthy and packed full of nutrition. So yeah, if you can get the texture like this, you're onto a winner. Make sure you do it to all the bananas and then add it in with the rest of the mixture. going to add in the almond milk in a sec. When it comes to adding the almond milk, just go easy on it. Add a little bit at a time and mix at the same time, because what you don't want to happen is for you to put lots and lots of almond milk in and then it turns into, well, a big bowl of cold oatmeal that has kind of cashew butter floating around in it. Even though that does sound quite tempting, it's not quite as nice as having cooked flapjacks. So just go easy on the almond milk and just put in as much as you need. Whoops, I forgot to add the agave. So this is the kind of texture you're after, guys. Nice and gooey. So I think this is now ready to go in here. Now when you're adding this to your baking tray, you need to make sure it's pressed down. So just get a spoon and just press it down, just so it's more condensed. And the more condensed and packed this you can get this, the more of this delicious flapjack mixture you're going to get into your baking dish. Now in my haste to make this for you guys, I think I might have made mine a little, it's maybe a little bit too on the soggy side. I'm hoping it's not. I think it's just in. It should make for very interesting flapjack. So once you've got your baking tray looking like this, jam-packed full of oats, it's time for it to go in the oven. I'd recommend cooking this between 15 and 30 minutes on about 200 to 250, depending on how good your oven is. But again, this depends on how much you've decided to make. So, time to get all this lot cleared up, I suppose. So I'm going to tidy this up and then make a cup of tea. You can't beat rooibos tea. Way too hot. Herbal teas always take so long to cool down. So I'm just going to chill while I'm waiting for the flapjack to cook. And while it is cooking, I just want to say, make sure you keep an eye on it, because the amount of times I've put it in the oven, wandered off, done some housework, gone for a run or whatever I've been up to, come back, completely forgotten it's in there, and come back to a charred mess. So just keep an eye on it, guys. So let's see how this is looking. Looks done to me. So you know when it's done because it'll look a little crispy around the edges, and the crispy bits are the best bits. So I'm gonna leave this to cool for a few minutes and then get it chopped up. And this tastes so delicious when you eat it warm as well, so I highly recommend chopping it up into little bits, leaving it to cool for a bit, and then grabbing a piece while it's still warm. Just look at the texture on that. I'm going to treat myself and have this now. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to my channel and you like what you see, please hit subscribe.